Right now I can feel my tears falling like rain. There's nothing I can do about his demands. Li Shutan showed up at the agreed time Saturday at the meeting place. This is the building. Arrived at the room door. Fat man opened. So glad to see you here. This overwhelming pressure made Li Shutan step back. The man's smile foreshadowed what was about to happen. Friday, a few days ago, he thought he'd been working at this top-tier company for a year. His manager came over asking him to attend the annual party. At least try to make a good impression at the end. But Shu Tang refused. Seeing how firm he was, the manager didn't push. Shu Tang looked at his resignation letter. He'd reported internal corruption. The director had called him in for a talk. Now he had two choices. Transfer to a branch office. Or resign. If he just played dumb like the manager said, he wouldn't be dealing with this alone. But he couldn't just turn a blind eye while he was feeling miserable. This was a short-term project team for company reform, led by team leader Han Zhuwen. His name had been familiar since training orientation. At the company he was known as the devil, dictator, workaholic. But people's opinions of him were completely split. So given the current situation, he found himself admiring him. Maybe he could be that last lifeline. While Han Zhu looked at Shu Tang's file, torn between resigning and transferring to a branch. He didn't expect such a direct question. And he clearly knew about him reporting the company's team. He even knew his real reason for applying to the project team. Alicia was left speechless by his questions. Then he coldly said, "You can't adapt to work life." He came to the interview admiring him, only to get completely torn apart. The guy's work experience didn't meet the company's hiring standards. And also, the man wasn't happy with his attitude for interviewing. So what are you gonna do now? Submit your resignation. The guy figured this wasn't his concern. After all, he's the team leader. Still stayed polite before leaving. His words during the interview were harsh, but they were all true. The guy started questioning if he'd taken the wrong path. The interview that day was a total failure. But that night, the man called Director Jin to speak up for the guy. This usually strict man for some reason made an exception for this guy. Next day the manager asked the guy how the interview went. As expected, he got chewed out. But he probably won't last long in sales either. Director Song's coming back mid-month too. This kind of money changing hands isn't exactly new. Now the guy fully realized his principles meant nothing here. Suddenly jolted awake by a phone ringing. It was Han Zhuwen, the caller wolf. Since the content wasn't for a phone call, he told the guy to meet him on the roof. He didn't expect this man would actually. But there was a condition. Once a week. He never expected that kind of condition. The guy almost lost his balance. The man gave him time to think it over. If he wanted to hear the specific terms contact. Ever since that talk with the guy couldn't sleep for days. He even started questioning his life. Finally made up his mind. Han Zhu's number. Greeny. Since he agreed to Han Zhuang's term, he had to be ready for pain. The Saturday before the project, he was asked to meet him. Shu Tang steeled himself and went to the hotel. Han Zhuwen sat by the window in a black robe, swirling his wine glass. His predatory gaze made Li Shu Tang pretty nervous. Seeing him not being proactive, Han Zhu, the workplace elite, made an analogy for him. Said his expression that was like a kid on a roller coaster, wanting to get off but realizing it's too late. Keeps reassuring himself it'll be over soon. If it were a plane, there's a point of no return. If he doesn't want to ride now, they can pretend nothing happened. Truly a workplace elite. Even now the way he talks is so skillfully manipulative, putting the choice on him. If he agrees, he becomes his accomplice. No coercion whatsoever. But since he'd already decided to come here, how could he give up now? Everything went according to Han Zhu's plan. He was looking forward to Li Shu Tan's performance. But Li Shu Tan's clumsy acting was unwatchable. Han Zhuwen decided to teach him himself. Seeing him so upset, he lost interest. Seeing the team leader disappointing, Li Shu Tang quickly tried to stop Han Zhuwen from walking away. Let's try again. If I give you another chance, even if you want to stop halfway, it won't be possible. In the end he became his accomplice. It was all his own. But the team leader's eyes looked less annoyed and more disappointed. Think he had other expectations. I hope you'll be more useful at the company. Yet this was only the first Saturday. He could hear dress shoes walking away, and his own retching. Zhuwen looked at himself in the elevator, thinking back to Li Shu Tang agreeing to his terms on the phone. A new week started. Right when he came in, he saw co-workers moving stuff. Looks like everyone's excellent. Li Shu Tang realized he was pretty useless here. While getting to know his co-workers, he saw that face, team leader Han Zhuwen. He spotted Li Shu Tang through the crowd immediately. They made brief eye contact several times during the meeting. Each time he had to work really hard to lift his head instead of low. Felt like no matter what he couldn't escape his gaze. Han Zhuan assigned him a mentor. During training, he learned. The team leader personally coded. According to the mentor, the team leader did this in college. He didn't expect someone who created such clean task allocation would call him to a hotel. Someone so would actually let him join the team. Just unbelievable and incomprehensible. Even if he told anyone, nobody would believe it. What's it like getting spanked by an IC CEO? At lunch, the mentor took Li Shutan to eat. From him, he learned. But from the looks of it, that wasn't the case. Everyone who got in here went through layers of application screening. There were lots of people behind his back waiting for to mess to destroy him. Bringing Li Shutan in got a lot of people talking trash. Hearing the mentor, Li Shutan couldn't understand why team leader Han would take such a risk to make this deal with him. What was the mentor's point in telling him all this? Did he want him to quit voluntarily? He'd even thought of how to refuse. But the mentor's answer surprised him. Turns out he was warning him to be careful, to do his work properly. If there's a problem, he'll help however he can. Li Shutan was really tired. The mentor saw him answer so and felt a bit awkward. Next, team leader Han will meet with everyone one-on-one. Might regret submitting that application. At the office, team leader Han was reviewing materials. Even asked if he'd eaten lunch. Because with desk, he was way too close to team leader. Should have left the door open earlier. Team leader Han gave him the materials he needed and gave him a new work badge. He'd used his own authority to specifically transfer Li Shutan to his department. Got up to take him to meet the team. And yeah, at that moment Li Shutan remembered what the mentor told him earlier. He asked team leader Han why he'd go this far for him. Han Zhuan looked at the frozen Li Shutan, leaned in close and touched his hair. I don't know why. You're asking that. But if you think I'm just doing you a favor, you don't get it. I thought I gave you plenty of time. But you might need to get hurt once to understand. Then used his thumb to cut a mark on his forehead. At the time, he didn't get what he meant by getting hurt. Not until the second Saturday did he, and Han Zhuan told him that to get him on board. His workload had increased a lot. First time seeing someone so, not only criticized his work, but also his technique at eating. Him to wash his face and come back. Li Shutan looked at his reflection in the water and couldn't help cry. Team leader Han was right. He wasn't the victim, he was his accomplice. Seeing him at the company, he'd even forgotten he and the man at the hotel were the same person. After chatting with a female co-worker, he noticed his lips seemed a bit cracked. Asked if it was his first time game started. If he didn't count, they'd have to start over. The originally unripe apple. Team leader Han forcibly ripened. During the spanking, Li Shutan forgot to count again, having barely endured until now. He just broke down crying. Slowly crawled up and hugged the team leader, crying and apologizing. Why does it look so much like acting cute? Seeing him like this, the team leader actually softened. I'll let you off today. I won't hit you anymore. Then took out anti-swelling ointment for Li Shutan. To spray, he was still sobbing. That's when he slowly understood his situation. Maybe what he'd been chasing never existed. Looking back now, it seems so absurd. Han Zhuan lifted his chin and told him he was Li. Asked him to sleep here before leaving. Li Shang buried his face in the pillow like a kid, shaking his head. But Han Zhuan didn't keep pushing. Then he could hear the distant sounds of a backpack and clothes. Team leader Han just left like that, without even a word of goodbye. When Li Shutan got home and checked his temperature, as a kid he'd been sick a lot. Growing up, even when sick, he had no time to rest. No one to take care of. He still had to do part-time. Thinking back as a kid, he could still act cute with his mom. But now he's all alone. The sadness rushed over him now. Monday at work, coworkers noticed his rosier than usual cheeks. The mentor had already asked and knew he was sick, but why were his lips injured too? Li Shutan quickly covered them with his hand, face flushing, not knowing how to. Heard them say team leader Han got called up again. Might not even make it to the end of year presentation. 这么多欧盘谈了 Team leader Han came in asking the project proposal he'd asked him to revise, but he'd left it on the team leader's desk Friday.